Welcome everybody to the 2024 Daceyland Open, sponsored by Wyatt Works and Disc Golf 978. I am Connor Spilman, the tournament director for the event, and sitting to my right, we have the main sponsor of the event, Shane Wyatt. Shane, how are you doing?
I'm doing well tonight.
Excellent. Well, we have a really exciting MPO lead card for you guys here. With this being the third consecutive year of a B tier, all these guys here, they're playing for prestige, they're playing for pride, and we're going to see some really exciting golf out here today in these woods. Leading this card today, we have a Dave Mahoney, sponsored by Team Tank, shooting a 1,007 rated round at Borderland, a clean 10 down. And just by his side, another Team Tank sponsored member, Alex Vig, with another 10 down. Both 10 downs going in from Team Tank, quite impressive.
Yeah, Tank came out hot.
And here we go. And third, this is the main sponsor, Shane Wyatt here, with a 991 rated round here. And rounding off this card here, we have Nate Hartman, shooting a 9 under at Borderland with 1 bogey. This is going to be quite exciting. All 4 of these guys have played these courses for years. They know what they're doing. They have a game plan. They're going to try and execute it, and they're going to have to start with hole 1. Shane, what are your thoughts on hole 1 here?
So, ever since the big cut a few years ago, I've been a fan of hole 1. I never really liked the old approach, slightly short of the river and then go past. I like going for the basket all the time. Just don't throw the forehand. So hopefully Dave can show us the good forehand here that gets you all the way to the water.
Yeah,
so Dave will get to the water.
It's a classic mistake, especially with getting out to hole 1 with those nerves of the tournament there. You can pull that a little left off the forehand.
Hole 1s are always anxiety driven. So here's Viggy with the classic layup play, which was very common before the big cut. I never liked it. I like every disc go toward the basket, like Nate's doing here.
And this is what we're talking
not
about
executing.
Here. Yeah, this is. I've seen that man throw that shot plenty of times.
Champion
Look
Shane
at him
Wyatt.
waving to the crowd. He's a man of the ball. I've seen him throw that shot many times, and I've seen him clear the water. But sometimes it just doesn't work out like that.
Just in time to see me lay up. I like laying up here. It's very easy to get your birdie 3, and you don't have the chances of going in the water and getting a very difficult upshot for your par.
Going that right gap, and even going out of bounds, still gives you a shot at saving the par. It's not the best, but as you can see this little window here, if you can just throw a shot from left to right here and just land it there, you're going to be circle 2, staring right at the basket.
Yeah, Nate quite didn't push his far enough. But you also have the other side of things where if you push it too straight out of that little window that he just had, there's out of bounds to the left of the basket. So you don't want to push it too straight. Looks like Dave's going to correct.
Great shot from Dave.
There's him up near the pin. Here's Viggy after he's playing the normal scramble game. After the short layup drive. Easy birdie for him. I've also got a very nice scramble here after my layup shot short of the water on purpose. And looks like I executed a forehand.
And that was fantastic. A Shane Wyatt forehand is quite rare to see, especially on coverage.
Yes, although in my older years I'm throwing a lot more forehands than I used to. It turns out it's a lot easier on your body to just stand there and whip your arm forward than it is to spin around and X-step, and who has time to worry about all that stuff? Looks like he hung it out a little too wide, caught another tree. He might save. Oh,
Great
he does.
putt.
That was a good putt. Center basket, right height.
And even with a bogey, you're still in the mix with that putt.
That is true. It's so easy to lose focus after making several errors on your first hole.
Now, it's interesting, too, looking at the statistics of this hole, it sounds like the field shot every possible scenario. We had a 6% eagles, we had 29% birdies, 47% pars, 12% bogeys, and 6% double bogeys. This hole can pretty much do anything and everything to you during a round, depending on where it goes.
We had one eagle, which is 6% of our field. That is by Dan
Laviolette.
Laviolette?
Yes, Lavs, a Dacey legend out there.
Dan Lav, he's been playing really well lately and showing off some skills with an eagle on hole 1.
Hole 2, par 3, 273 feet. You have two routes here. You have a backhand hyzer for your right-hand players here. You have to play it really skinny with these trees on the left side. It's tough to see on the coverage from there. But
throwing the backhand hyzer, you have to throw something like pretty flippy on a sharp hyzer and let it soften up the hyzer. I like the forehand a lot better. I think it works to get up to the basket a much higher percentage of the time, and that's something that got added at the cut. And well, I enjoy it a lot better than the original hyzer flip backhand. I think it was a playoff between Eric Wilson and Drama a couple of years ago. Might have been at one of the first. Might have been at the first Daceyland or Ruler of the Roost. I'm not quite sure, but one of them threw a forehand roller on this hole, and it was just filthy.
I mean, to throw a forehand roller in a location like this, I don't know. I don't know why people are doing that.
I mean, the shot shape on the right hand backhand to put it down that narrow alley and hit that very specific flight plate plan is just incredibly hard.
And there he is. Great putt from you, Shane.
That was a great putt.
That was. I mean, it was a little right side, but you know,
but look at how firm and confident I look.
You definitely.
I just expected it. That's
great.
Nice.
It's great. You were kind of already assuming it was going in, but when it left your hand.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're known for. I mean, this is what this card's gonna have to deal with. Shane Wyatt from Circle 2 is going to be a problem.
Well, I saw Nate hit the putt on 1, and I didn't want to be outdone.
Great putt from Mahoney.
Yeah, he's a good putter. When I first moved here, he threw nothing but forehands. And nowadays, I think his backhand's better. Don't tell him I said that, though.
I'll make sure that stays between us.
Yeah, just cut that out.
I will. I'll take care of that. Yeah. Now, we're cleaning up hole 2 here, and we're about to transition on to a daunting hole 3. And this hole used to be a very difficult par 3, and now it's just a very difficult par 4. What we're going to be seeing here, you're going to see 380 feet, and this initial gap here is pretty much your placement shot. You really want to swing it left here. You want to get yourself right in the middle of the fairway right here, because what you're looking at is an island green that you're going to have to go over a wall of trees, which is a theme here at Dacey. And depending on what happens, you could be taking some big numbers.
It's very easy to get big numbers here, but this is one of my favorite holes on the course. It's got a little bit of everything. Your first shot, you want to throw low, and you want to skip it tight on the left side here, but it's awfully scary to do that. So the easiest play is to throw it wide. You always get a pretty good skip off of this ground. It's hard packed and it's covered in pine. So it's pretty easy to reliably get a bounce, but the more left you get, the better. And you can't go too straight. So it's finicky. It's a very finicky drive just to put yourself in a good position to get an upshot, because getting on that green is really tough.
Yeah, there's out of bounds that lies the back of the green. There's out of bounds that lies right in front of the green. Mm-hmm. It's all about placement shot here, giving yourself an opportunity. And you can see here, I don't think Vig has birdie in his mind right now. I think he's just decided, I'm going to take the par and move on here.
He's right in between the two alleyways that could even get you to the green.
Yeah.
And reaching out to hit one of those alleys is tough. Nate looks like he's slightly out of position for the alley, but he's going for it. He weaved a whole lot of trees.
Ooh.
I heard a nice shot. He might be on the green. I got a beautiful looking alley. I hit it beautifully. That looks so good.
Oh, and this is the problem.
Oh, that's right. I hit the alley too well, and now I'm out of bounds on the back side of the island.
Well, I will say, playing this course a lot, if you happen to make a mistake and go out of bounds, taking a 5 on this hole isn't the worst thing.
It is when you land in prime real estate off the drive. Then you're just sad.
Well, just like hole 1 when we were describing some of the stats here, during this weekend, or during this round, we had every single score you can imagine besides the eagle. We had 18% birdies, 41% pars, 29% bogeys, and 12% double bogeys. So we're looking here at almost, more often than not, you're going to bogey this hole.
I mean, we were just talking about how small and far away and awkward shaped and tough it is, being lined with trees, it is to get out of this green, this island. So speaking of, Dave left his upshot a little wide, hung it out over the river, and got tree-nied. Nate put his upshot on the green after being in, secondary real estate out there, but kind of short-armed the putt a little bit. I wanted to see that confident putt he had on hole 1. He'll get that back, I'm sure.
Oh, we have a long round here. This is sort of the front 9 of this course is really just trying to scramble for pars. Maybe you can find a birdie here and there, but if you come out of the front 9 close to even a couple under par, it's really going to give you an opportunity to attack that back 9. That gives you a lot of opportunities for birdies.
See, I actually think of this course a little different. I like being under par on the front stretch. I feel like there's a lot more par 3s on the early half of the course, and I know that's just my mind saying it, but there's a stretch coming up that I feel like you got to gobble them all up while you can. Get some turkeys going, especially on this hole. I like this hole.
If you can get this hole, this is I would consider this a bonus birdie on the course. It looks like you can slide right up to the green, but this right side here, especially with the initial gap, this right side does not play very favorably to a right-hand back player. You're worrying about this tree in the middle here, which eats up discs all the time. Even a good shot like we just saw Vig throw there.
But his shot was timid.
And this looks more like it. If you can keep it low and you can skip it through, that is textbook, perfect. Shane. That's textbook.
That's perfect. See how he pushed that right line? So, this tree in the center doesn't force you, but it, tempts you to put your disc on more hyzer than you want it to be on release, which is what Viggy did, which is why he hyzered out and hit this tree. Whereas Nate trusted that he was planning on missing that tree, so he didn't add any extra hyzer. The disc got flat and pushed perfectly straight just along that right edge of the tree line, which is exactly what you got to beat. Dave got a little nervous, but he didn't change the angle. He held the angle perfect, but that disc swung out wide because he pushed it out wide, so he fought the tree line a little too much.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Almost skipping it in from over 100 feet. Almost catching the top part of that basket, and that would have been a highlight reel right there.
That had a nice flared skip to it. That was a little soft. He wasn't going for the same thing, I don't think. He had a hard angle, just want to get your par. You don't want to bogey one of these holes. That's a good birdie.
That is a great birdie from Nate Hartman there. I mean, just played it textbook, kept that drive real low on the right side, skipped through the pine grove there, left himself 10 feet for the birdie.
That was a good putt too. It wasn't so strong, but it wasn't weak.
That bounced off the pole. You put a little sauce on that.
I putt too hard.
Yeah.
It's been many years.
And when we're looking at hole 4 here, we're looking at a pretty reasonable 53% par, 24% birdie, 18% bogey with the 6% double bogey, because it can happen, especially if you can't get out the pine grove.
If you hit that center tree like I was talking about. You can bounce into the bushes, and they're a little bit thick there because not a lot of people bounce into the trees that early. You don't want to be there. So here's hole 5. This is one of my least favorite holes on the course, just because it's one of those you don't birdie it, so you're kind of looking to get your par, but also playing for par on a 250 foot hole just makes me feel sad. So you get real sad when you're fighting for par on it.
And it definitely reflects the scores that we saw here in this field today. This hole was playing at the hardest level, at the hardest difficulty for the course, with a 6% birdie rate. Only one person out of the field birdied this hole throughout the weekend. Shout out Troy Yasizhin there, another Team Tanker player out there. I'm not sure how he birdied it. I wish we were able to see it. This is one of the most difficult holes on the course, and it is playing as the most difficult hole right now. As you can see, even a great drive right there with the little branches that sneak out at you. You have to find a shot that plays just below that tree canopy that you're looking at, and you're going to have to get lucky with a good skip. And more likely than not, you're probably putting from 60 feet at the bottom of the hill.
Yes. My play has always been to push it around the backside on this hill. But over the years, I've gotten lazy, and I just want to rest it on the hill, which is probably why I keep missing this hyzer gap. And I end up with this scramble a whole lot now. I think the last 5 times I played this course. It's a disaster.
And you almost had it there. Just missing that one little twig would have given you a shot. I know reliving that moment must have been tough, but it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, I forgot about it, so it's funny to be reminded of why I don't want to land short left all the time. I just said it's one of those holes that you shouldn't really want your birdie on because, well, the chances of that are incredibly slim, but yet it's very easy to bogey if you don't get around the corner. You really just want to play for par on this one.
And how much did that pain you to just lay that shot up? I know you, and you want to run those as much as you can.
And the last putt I had was so confident, but I don't know. Maybe I'm scared.
No, it's disc golf, man. This is what happens.
I had a caddy. I can blame the caddy. He probably told me to lay up.
You're going to blame Pete for that?
Yeah, I was probably asking him. I said, should I lay up or go for it?
I would say it's definitely Pete's fault. It's definitely Pete's fault.
Yeah.
Shout out Pete Violet for being a 900 rated caddy.
Way to save my bogey there, buddy.
Oh, we're just kidding. We love Pete Violet. Shout out Pete Violet on the bag for Shane Wyatt. I'm sure that was a blast. We're moving on to an iconic hole here at Dacey. Hole 6, par 3, 245 feet. It is not as easy as it looks. You're going to have to throw a very technical shot that's going to be straight, but with a little bit of hyzer or anhyzer, depending on what hand you're throwing with here. And you're always going to have to worry about that hill. Vig looks like he just about does it with that. And this, unfortunately, stuff like that does happen. He's going to leave himself 40, 50 feet uphill putt.
Uphill, little bit elevated.
Oh, I like this play. Staying all the way to the right and just hyzering left. I mean,
That's
that was
beauty.
Great. That was a great shot right up in the base of the hill.
If you beat that crooked tree, you're in good shape. But you got to beat the crooked tree. I kept it way wide because I liked what Nate did. And I think it worked out.
Yeah, we got Mahoney laying up, which is a smart play. You really don't want to try and get too greedy on this hole if you don't feel like you have a really good angle at it.
We're looking at the backside of the green right now.
And there he is, the main sponsor of the event, all the way from downtown, Shane Wyatt. What a putt.
That was a good one. That was probably to prove to my caddy that I could have made the putt on the last hole that he wouldn't even let me go for. Look, I even get to see it twice. I could have done it twice, Pete.
You could have done it twice.
Thanks a lot, buddy. But no, that was a good putt. Here's Viggy for his birdie, and he gets it.
Let's go.
That was a good catch.
That was a great catch.
That's a daunting putt, though. We just saw how steep it was on the other side. It's so easy to go 45 past. Very nice.
Very nice.
Viggy took some speed off of his putt. on average, he still putts hard. So do I. But on average, he's taking less speed than he used to. And there's Nate. That's the birdie you like to see, though. It's not that scary of a putt from 18 feet right at the bottom of that hill, which is where he put it after that fantastic drive. Nice straight putter shot. Dave's the soul potter.
Moving on to hole 7, par 3, 311 feet. Now, this shot you can attack a few different ways. You're going to see a lot of these guys go right up the middle, maybe throw in a mid-range. Some even might throw in a putter. You can flex it around the corner. You do have to be a bit mindful of the left side. It is difficult to deal with that left side if you get caught early. And there's also some OB that's lining the wetlands right in the middle. And as you can see, Vig just goes over everything. He just places it right on the edge of circle 1, circle 2. I mean, that's a great shot.
That was good.
Yeah, as you can see, Nate here is going to line up a shot that I think is going to go right up the middle of this gut here. A little low, but if it gets past this rock here, oh, that is just great.
Good speed on that.
That is just great.
Good speed in order to not to lose the elevation.
Mm-hmm. Now, I watched Sam Henderson go left of this tree with all of the dings in it with a lefty forehand and put it within circle 1. I mean, that to me, never even thought that shot was possible.
There's a fun flex route to this hole, whereas if you keep it right and swing it all the way around this, you can kind of see the out of bounds in the center being lined by the logs. I'm sure you'll see him when we get up to my terrible shot that went out of bounds. But there's a flex shot that people will play with that righty backhand that swings all the way around. And I've always liked that shot. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Shane.
Took that shot for granted. Looks like I'm in bounds.
He knew it. You knew it right out of your hand.
Well, that was so bad. I'm really far away, and I didn't throw it far. Anyways, so here's a guy for his bird. No, that's not a birdie putt.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest putt to try and attack here. I mean, if you get to the right side with this rock here, great putt.
That's a birdie putt.
Excellent putt. Now, if you land on the right side of this fairway here and you're staring at the basket with the big rock behind you, you kind of have a green light to run it at full speed. But if you're not there, you're definitely feeling a little nervy hitting that putt with.
If you go just past that rock, you can land next to it and then roll behind it, and it goes downhill. So that rock is way bigger than it appears, man.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I can't putt over that rock without a turbo putt. So that's always in the back of your mind if you're going for a long-range look at this one.
Yeah.
Boy, that
a little sad bogey from Shane there.
That looks sad.
It's definitely a sad bogey. A nice cleanup there from Mahoney.
He's not as expressive.
No. Well, speaking of expressive, I mean, you're an expressive player. Shane, I mean, you have been playing in these woods for a long time, and I'm definitely excited to have you here and being our main sponsor. Quickly, hole 8, par 3, 260 feet. This is your straight shot here. Realistically, to get to this pin here, you're gonna have to throw your straightest disc down this gap that Vig's gonna try and show you right now. If you can push it a little bit to the right, that's also really good. I mean, if this fades a little left, that's unfortunate. He's gonna be staring at a circle 2 downhill putt from there, but it is gonna be open for him to look at. It's got the death putt nerves to it.
Yes, it does. I've always liked this shot, except the fact it's a nice straight shot, and then by the time you get out of this initial gap, your disc needs to either drift right just a little bit or hold perfectly straight with minimal fade. Mm-hmm. So he hit the gap that's more towards the basket, but he faded. Fortunately, he caught a little tree to drop down quicker. And now he's got an uphill putt, whereas Viggy drifted to the right a little bit, and now he's left with more of a death putt as that basket is on a hillside. So I've always liked the perfectly straight shot, but I think over the years the play is definitely to let it drift to the right. I got scared and didn't want to throw my disc high enough. Threes are fine. Yeah, we love threes.
Almost had it.
I guess did.
Almost had it.
Frustration starting to build.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned earlier, you've been around for a long time, and we've had you here as the main sponsor for 3 consecutive years in a row. Wyatt Works has been sponsoring Daceyland here.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about Wyatt Works and sort of the company that you've built.
So, what? I done construction all my life. Nice putt by Viggy. That's that death putt we were talking about.
Great putt, Vig.
I've done construction for a really long time, and a couple years ago I decided to start working for myself, and a lot of residential. I like bathrooms and deck building and, replacing doors and windows and remodeling your basement, or, I like residential stuff. It's fun. It's nice to see the happiness in people's eyes when they finally get that thing that they've wanted for a long time, and so it's nice to be able to do that for people. And the disc golf community has been really, really kind to let me into their house and obviously their checkbooks in order to let me build their dream space for them,
Well, we're happy to have you here as the main sponsor. I mean, as a tenured disc golfer that you are in New England, and especially with a tournament like this that we have sort of been building on over the years and making it bigger and bigger. So we've been 3 consecutive years as a B tier, and it's been a Sunstein Series event, a NIFA Series event, and we're very happy to have this collection of people come together to build this tournament with Dacey and Borderland, both very prestigious courses out in Massachusetts. They've been around for a long time, and we're looking to the future.
Yeah, so these courses have been in this area for, I have no idea how long Borderland has been here, but I'm pretty sure it's one of the first courses in Massachusetts, let alone this area. And it's still a fantastic course, although it was designed at least 20 years now, but the course is still so good. And Dacey, when I first moved here, it was a little rough on the edges. In addition, I was a little rough on the edges. I don't like the scramble, so Dacey requires a lot of finicky shots. You can see a lot of the trees in the way. What a shot!
Nate almost hitting me at the catch cam.
What a
312 feet uphill with a sweeping left to right forehand. I mean, this is just fantastic.
That's a 380-foot forehand?
With that elevation play, absolutely.
12 feet from the basket?
12 feet from the basket. I think I said 315. It is 335. It plays like 380. It sometimes can play like 400 depending on the player that you are. And that shot that you just threw right there, that is what you're going to see a lot of players do who have been playing for a long time. I mean, this is not an easy shot. And as you can see, Mahoney here just not getting over on that forehand quite enough. And that does happen a lot. I mean, this hillside is quite brutal.
It's steeper than it looks. And to get a forehand all the way up there that's a strong forehand. Backhand's really getting the backhand up there is just really tough, because you gotta by the time the disc gets to the hill, it needs to be gliding, and when discs glide, they want to drift right, and there's a whole bunch of trees to the right, so you tend to hit those trees.
And another fantastic birdie from Nate Hartman. Just putting on a show for us today with some of the holes that he's been throwing.
Yeah, this is a really good birdie. I bet this one feels really good to get after. He was in good position on the last hole. He just was unable to capitalize while I was bragging about myself.
And we're wrapping up our front 9 here for the 2024 Daceyland Open, sponsored by Wyatt Works and Disc Golf 978. Quick shout out to Sunstein, quick shout out to NIFA, and what we're going to do is we're going to transition to our back 9 here, and we're going to see that it's going to be a battle to the end. We're all locked in here, and I'm in. It's anybody's game right now, Shane. I don't really know what we're looking at here.
Well, so far, it's Viggy's tournament.
It really is.
He's up by 3. He's he's the only one shooting well under par on the front. He shot a 10 down, so he's already in the lead. And he's already shooting hot front nine.
Yeah, but the only caveat to that is I know Dacey and anything could happen here.
That is true. There's a whole lot of trees there.
Absolutely. Stay tuned, guys, and we'll catch you on the back nine.